a lot of us did see you were a part of the team that brought Cornel West over to the Green Party. I think a lot of us got really excited when he was running as a Green because we knew that you guys did have experience running presidential campaigns. And then there's also the ballot access perspective to that as well. And then, as we all know, you were also the one that recommended Peter Daou to work with Cornel West's campaign. Ultimately, though, the decision did come down to Dr. Westlake deciding whether or not to hire Peter. But then later on, we did see that Dr. West decided to leave the Green Party. I talked to him about that. I talked to you about that. Both of you came onto the show to discuss it. And then not too long after that, Peter Daou did decide to resign from the Cornel West campaign. Some people, since the announcement of your presidential campaign, some people are now wondering if your decision to choose Peter Daou to work with Dr. West's campaign was in an effort to sabotage the campaign. Now, this isn't necessarily what I believe, but these are just some of the things that have come my way before this interview. And I want to get your take on that, because the way that the events have unfolded, it does give some people that perspective that, well, maybe this was just to sabotage Dr. West. So I want to hear your take on that.
So the facts speak for themselves. I introduced Peter Daou, who's a friend and has been a friend and collaborator for years with many people in the Green Party. And I introduced him to Dr. West and his team very early in the campaign because I did not want to be a campaign manager, but I felt like we couldn't leave Dr. West without a team. We had persuaded him to come on board and now he didn't have a team. So, I sort of was cornered into being a campaign manager for a while. And I introduced them to Peter because he was one of the few people with experience on a national level who was willing to share that experience with independents and Greens, because people who want to protect their relationship to power don't do that, because you will be blacklisted forever and your career is over the minute you do that. And Peter is one of the few people who has been sharing campaign management skills with Greens for a while. So I thought it was really important for the Wests to know about him. But truth to tell, I did not recommend that Peter take any position in particular or that they even hire him. What I did was introduce him. And so for people to say that there was some kind of conspiracy that brought him in, that's ridiculous, because it was me that brought him to the Wests. And if you think I'm the Democratic Party, well, heaven help us.
Yeah, heaven help us. And that's actually a question that we're going to be addressing, Dr. Jill Stein, because I think it actually is a question that's worth addressing. If you didn't, so I did a stream yesterday with Dr. Cornel West. It's an examination of how he uses his faith to shield himself and the terrible sort of establishment viewpoints that he has on a lot of issues. When he's not in his groove, when he's more in line with the establishment talking points, Russiagate, stuff like that, ending the democracy, he really shows his libertarian, his liberalism. He's really a liberal. I'm trying to be nice in my description. That's why I know you can kind of see that I'm finding a hard time to find nice words here. So I'm probably just going to revert back to regular CJ here, but I'm trying to keep it nice, at least in the beginning here. But you saw the video with Sabby interviewing Jill Stein.
Obviously.
There's a few things in this video I want to address just separately. What she talks about Peter Daou being part of the Green Party, being an ally, being a person to work with several people in the Green Party. If I would have known that, I would not have been supporting the Green Party whatsoever. But it speaks to an issue that I spoke about with the selection, when the selection of Peter Daou came about with Cornel West, and came out that when Cornel West was getting all the heat, Jill Stein had to come out and say, hey, everybody, get let off on Cornel West. I was the one who did it. And it spoke to me this point. The professional managerial class, and Dr. Jill Stein is one of those, Dr. Cornel West is one of those, they have a blind spot. And their blind spot, and in the case with Jill Stein, her blind spot, or in the blind spot, this blind spot in particular, people with accolades, people who have gone through the schooling to get the accolades view accolades at a higher level than the average person. And they view those accolades above a person who's seen as a traitor in Peter Daou. So in that case, if it was a working class person in the decision-making room with Peter Daou, a working class person would say, hey, fuck all his credentials. This motherfucker's a traitor. You get what I'm saying? Whereas absent an actual working class person in that room decision-making, that point of view will be lacking. And all you're going to have is a bunch of Dr. Cornel West's and Dr. Jill Steins patting each other on the back saying, yeah, we made the right decision. He has the right accolades. It's a complete blind spot. And I can clearly hear it with the Green Party, apparently. Yet they don't know why somebody like Howie Hawkins have infiltrated the fucking Green Party. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense, man. So that tidbit of knowledge I wanted to address. It's not a new clip, but just the tidbit of knowledge before we get started has been something the point of view I've been sitting on for a while. Because this is a lot. But anyway, that's the intro. The first video. I do want to show you another video before we get to the current one. And that's Peter Daou. Just to give everybody background on what's going on here and the people involved, and you hear their own voices.
Propaganda term that basically to crush and to chill support for third parties. It's an absolutely meaningless term. You can say Biden is a spoiler for Cornel West. I saw a tweet the other day. Somebody said, Hillary took away Jill Stein's voters and ruined it for her. Right? It's a meaningless thing. People can vote for whoever they vote for, but actually that's not how the system's set up. So in terms of the campaign website, in terms of Dr. West's position, in terms of fleshing that all out, that's all part of the process of what I'm here to do, because there are mechanics to that. Somebody has to do that. You have to, talk to him and sit down, because these are his positions, not somebody's just going to sit and write it. Now, he's represented these things for all his life. So every campaign, including this one, starts from a kernel, and that kernel is the candidate and their values. Everything else is structured around it. You start building out the team. You build a volunteer operation to be able to connect with people who want to help. Thousands of people have signed up for this campaign. And now we're in the process, now that I'm on board and methodically connecting with them, giving them the materials and the support they need to go out and spread the word across the country. So fleshing out his position is just another piece of it. But what is on the website, actually, if you really read it, though it may be greed, is really, truly, incredible.
As I'm listening to Peter Daou, I'm thinking more upon what I said about Dr. Jill Stein in the professional managerial class. And just thinking about this campaign and how it's floundered. Think about what he's saying here. He's just talking about, hey guys, you don't have to worry. I'm just here to be the technical guy, step by step, the by the book guy. Is that what a movement campaign should have?